I'm Crystal, the prep behind Prep in the City, and this channel is going to be devoted to all things fragrance and perfume related, perfume and cologne related. But I wanted to give a little introduction as this is my first video as to why I decided to start this channel. So I started this channel because fragrance is a passion of mine. I love things that smell good. I like the science behind it as well as just fragrances in general. So during lockdown, we all have something that, we use to kind of make things normal. One of those things for me was perfume. So every day I still took a shower, I still put on perfume. I restocked some of my fragrances that I ran out of. I read up on fragrances, I tried some new ones because, I didn't know how long it was going to last. So I figured, well, since I'm in here, I might as well. And then as it got out, after it ended, I bought more fragrances. I was talking to people about it. And even in college, I sold fragrance for a time for a high end retailer. And, I had done some sales even a little bit after. But, it kind of became apparent to me that there's a lot about fragrances and fragrance basics that people still don't know. And so sometimes it makes buying a gift difficult. It makes, even buying for yourself difficult because you go to a store and people are telling you things. They're spraying fragrance on you, especially at Christmas time if you go to a big department store. And you really don't know a lot for yourself. So, in talking to friends, I just realized that, there's still a big, gap about fragrance that people don't know. So today in our first video, we're going to talk about some fragrance basics. I'll have other videos that break down certain things, but I just kind of want to just kind of scratch the surface today. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the difference between a parfum, an eau de parfum, an eau de toilette, and a cologne. So we're going to start with a parfum. So a parfum, right here on this diagram, it says it has 20 to 40% concentration. So what that means is that there's 20 to 40% of the fragrance oil in the alcohol base. And so they give an estimate here of how long that lasts. So it roughly lasts about 6 to 8 hours. And then next you have an eau de parfum. So it's 10 to 20% of the concentration in the base, and that's 4 to 5 hours. Then you have an eau de toilette, which is pretty common. You'll see an eau de toilette, you'll see eau de parfums as well. But an eau de toilette is 8 to 10% concentration in the fragrance base, and then it's 2 to 3 hours as how long it roughly lasts. Once again, these are rough estimates. I have some eau de toilettes that, when I was going through my perfumes, when I turned the bottom of them, I didn't know they were eau de toilettes. I thought they were eau de parfums because, they lasted all day. I didn't really have to spray them multiple times. I was fine with them. Now, here you have a cologne, which is 3 to 5% concentration. It lasted 2 hours. You don't really see a lot of those. I mean, even though we call a lot of men's fragrances colognes, if you look at the bottles, usually they're eau de toilettes, eau de parfums. So you don't really see a whole lot of those. But this just kind of gives an example. As I said, I've had fragrances that are eau de toilettes that, last on me all day, and I really haven't had an issue reapplying. And then there, have been some eau de parfums that I've had that because of the notes, they were a little light. And so what I mean by notes are the various elements that they use to like comprise a fragrance. So every fragrance is broken down by 3 notes: top notes, heart notes, base notes. So those are the things that they use to make a fragrance. So the top notes, like I said at the top, sometimes they're the things that you smell initially. Scent is a very unique thing. So with fragrance, sometimes you'll smell something that's a base note. Like for me, I'm very drawn to scents that have vanilla in them, or the fragrances that have vanilla in them. And sometimes the vanilla will be the base note. It'll be like the bottom note. So it just sort of depends. Scent works differently for each person. But so that just kind of breaks down the difference between those. So hopefully that helped. So this next diagram that I really like that I picked up today was for how to wear perfume. Because I think there's still, like, we just kind of think you just spray it and go. And it's a little bit of a science to it, which is actually pretty cool. So this diagram breaks it down based on gender. So you have men here, you have women here. So it breaks it down in color by your body temperature. So by hot, warm, medium. So the hottest points on a man are going to be his lower jaw, his neck, his shoulder. On women, it's going to be, let's see, it's going to be behind your ear, your neck, and then your chest. So these are the areas in which we carry the most heat. So the next hottest, on a man, it's going to be your chest and your wrist. And then on a woman, it's our shoulders, our wrist, and then our behind our ear. Behind our knees, sorry. And then the coolest point, well, the next warmest, but technically the coolest out of the 3 is going to be medium. So on a man, it's going to be his inner elbow, his forearm. And then on the ladies, it's going to be your inner elbow below your midriff, your calf, and then your ankle. So because men don't really, I don't think, spray most of those places, but you know, women tend to because we wear skirts, things like that. So this just kind of breaks it down. In talking about body temperature, one thing that's really interesting to note too is that, you know, there are certain scents that I think are really good for summer, and then there are certain scents that I think are good for winter. Then you have scents that are good anytime, right? But some of the scents that, you know, are really good in the summer, you know, they have really great notes, but, you know, if you try to take certain scents that you would wear in the winter and try to wear them, in the summer you already are, you know, have carry your body heat differently, but then you have the heat outside, so it makes some notes a little bit more I don't want to say loud, but it makes them a little bit more dominant because they do what they call, they bloom. So those, you know, fragrance, if it's a floral, it it blooms and, you know, it smells particularly floral. So that's just something to kind of look out for. So I'll be posting these videos weekly, and I'll be talking about all sorts of different things. So feel free to click the like and subscribe button in the comments. If you have questions, feel free to drop them. I'd love to interact with you. So I'll be, like I said, I'll be posting weekly, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.